Hollywood has been buzzing with whispers, rumors, and speculation, but nothing prepared fans for the latest shocking revelation about Ron Howard. The beloved actor-turned-director, known for his iconic roles in Happy Days and The Andy Griffith Show, and later for directing box office hits like Apollo 13 and A Beautiful Mind, has always been seen as the picture of professionalism, charm, and enduring talent. But behind the scenes, a story has emerged that is both surprising and deeply unsettling. For decades, Ron has maintained a carefully crafted public image, a blend of affability, dedication, and creative genius, but recent events have revealed a side of his life that even the most dedicated fans never imagined. Sources close to Ron Howard hint at a series of unexpected personal and professional challenges that have quietly unfolded, far from the glare of Hollywood cameras. These developments are not just minor hiccups or career setbacks. They have shaken the very foundation of how people perceive him. Friends, colleagues, and industry insiders are describing a situation that has left many in disbelief. A combination of health concerns, unexpected career pressures, and private struggles that Ron has kept under wraps for years. The irony is striking. A man who directed some of the most acclaimed films of our time is now facing a story that feels like it could be ripped straight from a screenplay. And the most astonishing part, Ron Howard himself has finally spoken out, breaking his usual silence to confirm that yes, something has indeed happened, and the truth is far more shocking than anyone expected. Fans are left asking, what really happened to the Hollywood legend? How is he coping? And what does this mean for his future in the industry he has dominated for decades? The answers are more shocking than you can imagine. Ron Howard, one of Hollywood's most enduring figures, has always been admired for his professionalism, versatility, and ability to navigate both acting and directing with equal skill. From his early days as Opie Taylor on The Andy Griffith Show to his Emmy-winning work as the director of films like A Beautiful Mind and Apollo 13, Ron has been viewed as a symbol of consistency and dedication. Yet, behind this polished image, recent revelations suggest that he has faced challenges that few outside his inner circle have ever known. These challenges are not the typical ups and downs of a Hollywood career. They involve deeply personal and professional pressures that have quietly shaped the past several years of his life. Sources close to Ron reveal that the legendary filmmaker has been grappling with a combination of health concerns, intense career demands, and private personal struggles. While Ron has always maintained a rigorous work ethic, taking on multiple projects simultaneously and juggling the responsibilities of directing, producing, and managing his production company, this relentless pace has reportedly taken a toll. Friends say that for the first time in decades, Ron is showing signs of fatigue and stress manifestations that even his closest colleagues find concerning. These are not the visible signs of aging alone, but the cumulative effects of years of pushing himself to maintain the high standards that have become synonymous with his name. In addition to the physical and mental strain, Ron has faced unexpected professional hurdles. Several projects he had been passionate about experienced delays, creative disagreements, or logistical setbacks, forcing him to confront a reality he has rarely had to face in his career: the limits of control. People who have worked with him say that Ron, known for his meticulous planning and attention to detail, found it difficult to navigate situations where he couldn't directly influence the outcome. These experiences, while challenging, have also offered Ron a new perspective on collaboration, patience, and the unpredictability of the film industry, even for someone of his caliber. On the personal front, Ron has reportedly dealt with private matters that he has intentionally kept out of the public eye. While the exact nature of these issues remains closely guarded, insiders confirm that they have required him to confront vulnerabilities and make difficult choices regarding his time, energy, and focus. For a man who has built his career on projecting confidence and capability, acknowledging these struggles has been both humbling and necessary. It is this rare transparency, rare for someone of his stature, that makes the recent revelation so compelling to fans and industry observers alike. Perhaps the most striking element of Ron Howard's recent disclosure is the way he chose to address it. Rather than issuing a brief statement, issuing a press release, or avoiding the topic entirely as he might have done in the past. Ron spoke candidly, offering a glimpse into his life that is at once vulnerable and relatable. He acknowledged the pressures, admitted the obstacles, and even reflected on the lessons he has learned along the way. It was a side of Ron Howard that the public rarely sees, the man behind the success, the fame, and the accolades, grappling with the complexities of life, while continuing to create some of the most celebrated films of our era. Fans watching this revelation unfold were immediately struck by the sincerity of his message. Social media erupted with reactions ranging from concern to admiration, as viewers expressed empathy for the struggles of a man they have long admired from a distance. The combination of honesty, humility, and self-reflection created a narrative that was both surprising and deeply moving. For many, it was a reminder that even icons like Ron Howard face trials that are rarely visible, and that the pressures of Hollywood can impact anyone, regardless of experience or success. By the end of his announcement, it was clear that what happened to Ron Howard wasn't a temporary setback or a minor scare. It was a pivotal moment in his life and career, a moment that forced him to reassess priorities, confront challenges he had previously ignored, and embrace a level of vulnerability that few expected. For fans and colleagues alike, the question now is not just what happened, but what comes next for one of Hollywood's most iconic figures. Following Ron Howard's candid revelation, friends and colleagues began to shed light on the pressures he has been quietly managing. While the public has always seen him as composed, decisive, and almost tireless, those closest to him describe a different reality, one marked by exhaustion, relentless responsibility, and the rare moments of doubt that even a seasoned professional cannot escape. For decades, Ron has maintained a reputation for meticulous planning, whether on set or behind the scenes in production. Yet, even someone with his level of expertise is not immune to the cumulative strain of overseeing large-scale projects, managing creative teams, and maintaining the high standards that have become synonymous with his name. Friends explain that the physical and emotional toll has been significant, and it is only now, after years of pushing himself, that Ron felt it necessary to address these issues publicly. Part of the stress stems from the complexity of his current projects. Ron has always been known for tackling ambitious films that require enormous coordination, careful budgeting, and exacting attention to detail. While these traits have cemented his status as one of Hollywood's most respected directors, they also come with unique challenges. Sources say that several ongoing productions encountered unexpected obstacles, from last-minute changes in scripts and schedules to creative disagreements among producers and executives. For someone like Ron, who has long prided himself on maintaining control over every aspect of his projects, these disruptions were not just inconvenient, they were deeply unsettling. It forced him to confront a difficult truth. Even in the film industry, experience and skill cannot eliminate unpredictability. Another element that compounded the situation was Ron's desire to balance professional success with personal well-being. Over the years, he has built a family and a life outside Hollywood. Yet the demands of directing, producing, and managing multiple ventures made it increasingly difficult to dedicate sufficient time to personal priorities. Sources indicate that this tension reached a point where Ron had to make conscious decisions about where to focus his energy, which projects to prioritize, and how to protect his mental and physical health. It is rare, they say, for someone at the height of their career to take such a step, and yet Ron recognized that ignoring these pressures could have serious consequences. Insiders also highlight how Ron's transparency has affected those around him. By addressing the situation openly, he has not only relieved some of the personal pressure he was carrying, but also allowed his team and collaborators to better understand his limitations and priorities. This level of honesty, especially in an industry where image is often carefully managed, has garnered admiration from colleagues and fans alike. Many have expressed respect for his willingness to acknowledge vulnerability and to demonstrate that even those with decades of experience face challenges that are not always visible to the outside world. Moreover, Ron Howard's revelation has prompted reflection on the larger demands of Hollywood. While he has achieved unparalleled success, the pressures he faces are emblematic of an industry that rewards excellence, but often disregards the personal toll it takes. Directors like Ron are expected to juggle creative vision, logistical coordination, public appearances, and media scrutiny, all while maintaining a level of composure that seems almost superhuman. What he disclosed is a reminder that the human element, the fatigue, the emotional strain, the moments of doubt exists even behind the most celebrated careers. As the news spread, fans responded with an outpouring of concern and support. Messages on social media praised Ron for his honesty and expressed empathy for the challenges he has faced. Many also reflected on his contributions to cinema, highlighting the irony that a man who has brought countless stories to life on screen now finds himself navigating a personal story of struggle, resilience, and reflection. Despite the intensity of the challenges he has faced, Ron Howard's message conveyed determination, grace, and the understanding that this is a pivotal moment, a moment that may redefine his priorities, his approach to work, and his future projects. It is clear that what happened to Ron Howard is not just a story of obstacles. It is a story of resilience, self-awareness, and the quiet courage it takes to confront life's pressures head-on, even for one of Hollywood's most respected figures. As Ron Howard continued to address what happened, he provided insight into how the past few years have reshaped his perspective on life, work, and the entertainment industry itself. Sources close to him explain that while his career has always been defined by discipline, vision, and creativity, he recently faced a period where the cumulative pressure of projects, deadlines, and public expectation became overwhelming. Ron, they say, began to experience fatigue that went beyond physical tiredness. It was a mental and emotional strain, one that forced him to reconsider how much he could realistically manage without compromising his health or the quality of his work. Friends describe that during this period, Ron became more introspective, weighing decisions with a careful eye on both his career ambitions and his personal well-being. One of the most significant challenges he faced was the intersection of professional and personal life. While Ron has always been admired for maintaining a balance, sources indicate that the increasing demands of large-scale projects, combined with expectations from studios, collaborators, and fans, created moments where even he felt stretched too thin. Despite decades of experience, he had to grapple with the difficult realization that he could not control every variable, from production delays and budget constraints to creative disagreements and logistical complications. The unpredictability of filmmaking had reached a point where it could no longer be ignored. Ron admitted that this period tested his patience, his endurance, and most importantly, his resilience. Friends also highlight the emotional toll of carrying responsibilities silently. Ron is someone who has often shouldered burdens alone, preferring to resolve challenges privately rather than publicly, which meant that much of the strain was invisible to those outside his inner circle. For a man whose career has been built on meticulous planning and problem-solving, having to face situations beyond his control was humbling. Yet, rather than shy away from the challenges, Ron confronted them head-on, demonstrating a quiet determination to adapt and continue delivering work of the highest standard. His approach was methodical: evaluate what could be changed, accept what could not, and prioritize what truly mattered. Another revelation from insiders involves the impact of this period on his creative choices. Sources report that Ron began reconsidering the scope of his projects, sometimes stepping back from opportunities he might have pursued in the past. This was not a decision made lightly. Ron's passion for storytelling and filmmaking has always driven him to take risks, explore ambitious narratives, and bring complex stories to life. However, the recent challenges forced him to assess which projects were sustainable, both creatively and personally. According to close associates, this self-assessment has allowed him to focus on work that aligns with his energy, vision, and long-term goals, rather than spreading himself too thin. Perhaps most surprisingly, Ron's transparency has fostered deeper connections with his team and collaborators. By openly acknowledging the challenges he faced, he created a new level of trust and understanding, allowing colleagues to better support him while also taking responsibility in areas where collaboration was necessary. Friends emphasize that This honesty is a rare quality in Hollywood, where image and reputation often take precedence over vulnerability. Ron's willingness to share the reality of his struggles demonstrates not only his integrity, but also his commitment to leading by example in a demanding industry. Finally, the revelation about what happened to Ron Howard is not just a story about challenges, it is a story about resilience, adaptation, and self-awareness. It highlights the human side of a man who has spent decades shaping the world of entertainment, showing that even icons must confront personal and professional hurdles. For fans and colleagues alike, Ron's openness serves as a reminder that success comes with pressures, and that true courage often lies in facing those pressures with honesty and determination. In the concluding part of his revelation, Ron Howard reflected on how the challenges he recently faced have reshaped his understanding of success, balance, and legacy. While he has always been celebrated for his professionalism and creative achievements, he acknowledged that even someone with decades of experience is not immune to the pressures of life, career, and public expectation. Sources close to him explain that Ron has become increasingly conscious of the need to preserve both his physical health and mental clarity, realizing that sustaining a high level of work is only possible when personal well-being is prioritized. This insight, he admitted, came after a period of intense reflection, during which he considered not just the future of his projects, but the broader trajectory of his life. Ron also addressed the emotional aspects of the challenges he has faced. Friends say that while he has often carried burdens quietly, the recent period forced him to confront vulnerabilities he had previously set aside. He spoke candidly about moments of doubt, fatigue, and even fear, feelings that many would not expect from a man whose career has been defined by confidence and control. By sharing these experiences publicly, Ron sought to convey that struggles are a universal part of life, regardless of one's accomplishments. This honesty resonated with fans and colleagues alike, as it humanized a figure who is often perceived as larger than life. On a professional level, Ron discussed the practical steps he has taken to adapt to these challenges. Sources indicate that he has reassessed the scale of his projects, delegating responsibilities where necessary and focusing on work that aligns with his energy and creative vision. This approach, they explain, has allowed him to maintain high standards while avoiding the burnout that could compromise both his well-being and the quality of his work. Ron emphasized that adaptation is not a retreat, it is a strategic choice that ensures longevity, creativity, and continued impact in an industry where demands are relentless. Furthermore, Ron reflected on the relationships that have helped him navigate this period. He credited family, close friends, and longtime collaborators with providing support, perspective, and reassurance. Their encouragement has been instrumental in helping him maintain focus while managing the emotional and logistical complexities of his recent experiences. He expressed gratitude for the loyalty and understanding of those around him, noting that their presence has been a stabilizing force during uncertain times. Perhaps most importantly, Ron highlighted the lessons learned from this chapter of his life. He said that facing challenges openly has reinforced the importance of resilience, self-awareness, and intentionality. By confronting difficulties rather than ignoring them, he has gained a deeper appreciation for both his accomplishments and the value of pacing himself. Ron's reflection serves as a reminder that success is not simply measured by accolades or box office numbers, but by the ability to navigate life's pressures with wisdom, humility, and integrity. As fans continue to process what happened to Ron Howard, the overarching message is clear. Despite the hurdles, he remains committed to his craft, his family, and his legacy. He has transformed challenges into an opportunity for growth, proving that even Hollywood legends must face struggles, and that facing them honestly can lead to newfound strength and perspective. In revealing this story, Ron has not only offered a rare glimpse behind the scenes of his life, but has also provided inspiration, showing that resilience, honesty, and self-reflection are as crucial off-screen as they are on it.